What is up, everyone? This is episode number 18. Crazy. I told myself when I started this podcast that I actually have a pact with another friend, my friend Micah, who lives in Texas. He started a podcast at the same time-ish called Story Dads. And we both made a pact that we were going to at least make it to 20 episodes before we gave up, if things were going horrible and no one was listening. But luckily, so far, I'm having a blast. People want to come on and talk to me, and people are listening and giving me great feedback. So very stoked on how it's going for, this early in the game, having less than 20 episodes and getting hundreds of plays each. So thank you very much. I'm excited to hang out with Mr. Joe Sudrovic tonight. I've known him forever. I think we met when we were both about 16. Maybe I was 15, going to aphasia shows. I don't know. I can't remember the exact moment that we met or the day. So maybe he does. But he's been an original member of aphasia / From a Second Story Window since 1999, since the very beginning. Before Rob joined the band, it was just Jeremy, who later became the drummer of Robinson, Derek, who I later replaced, and Joe. It was just those three to start. Then they found Rob and Jeff. So excited to talk to him about all of that and our reunion and just everything that's been happening. We had a killer show this past weekend in Cleveland, and excited to finish up this EP that we're working on, talk to him about his business and all that. Gorilla Joe Printing, absolutely killing it, printing for businesses and bands. So if you are in need of printing services, I highly recommend hitting them up, especially bands. He's doing a lot of awesome, huge bands now, just crushing it. And they can actually set up an online store for you and help manage it and all that. It's really, really, really cool what he's set up there. Proud of him. They're also my very first sponsor, if you listened to the podcast before. So you've probably heard the Gorilla Joe ad. So thank you, and shout out to everyone who works there. It's just a killer company all around. But I'm excited to talk to Joe. This is going to be really fun. This is Riff Tacos with Joe Sudrovic.
Yeah. What are we going to talk about today, Paul?
Whatever you want. What do you want to talk about?
I don't know.
Well, one thing I thought of that I don't know when we ever talked about it was, when the hell did we meet for the first time? Do you remember?
Yeah, when we came over to Nick's mom's to your practice, syndrome practice, and she got us a Bigfoot Pizza Hut pizza.
I don't remember the pizza.
I'll never forget that.
So we probably knew Jeff and Rob already, and then we met you. Okay, so I didn't know if it was at an aphasia show that we met or that. Okay,
I mean,
so good
probably,
to know.
but when I first really met you guys, though, was when we came over to Nick's mom's house for practice, and you had that 7-string guitar.
Yeah, I don't know where the fuck that is.
Me either.
I think it was in my my mom's place when I moved away, and then my aunt cleaned it out when I was gone, because I had to go back to California and I was here for weeks. So God knows what happened to it.
Yeah,
but yeah, that was the first guitar I used in A Good Day to Die too.
Yeah, I remember that.
I just took one string off it.
I know. It was a 7-string, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. It was an Ibanez 7-string. I was talking about that with Nick. It was like a weird body shape, almost like it was like rounded. I don't know what model that was.
It was almost like a Les Paul SG type thing.
Yeah, because it didn't have the pointy head. It had like 4 on one side and 3 on the others. And then I don't know shit about guitars. It's like, the pointy, it wasn't pointy. 3 and 4. But yeah, I had to get a 7-string because of Korn, and that was when Nick and I started our first band.
Fucking had
it was called Harsh before it was Syndrome. Which that's a big oof.
That's all right.
Who named aphasia?
Probably Derek.
Yeah.
And now Bruce Willis has that.
Yes, he does. I can't help but think of it every time I see it, because you don't see that word often.
No. No.
And so it was called that before Rob and Jeff joined you guys? You guys already had the name?
No, actually. No, dude. When it was just me, Derek, and Jeremy.
Tell me there was a worse name.
Snollygoster.
Oh my God, I remember that.
Yeah.
What is that from?
I don't know. It's some fucking Derek thing, man. Like, I think it had a cool meaning.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, I don't know. Like, it was just, dude, it's so fucking serendipitous too, because like we played this show, like it was for his sister's graduation party, and we played around the corner from Jeremy's mom's house. We had no vocalist. We were just playing fucking whatever. I wish I could find this video. And you see Kathy like just walking around, and like it's just funny that like it's Nick's wife now, and like
that's crazy. If you're a touring musician, you know how important it is to have reliable merchandise that represents your brand and keeps fans coming back for more. That's where Gorilla Joe Printing comes in. They specialize in high-quality printing and custom merchandise made to make your fans feel like they are part of the experience. From t-shirts to patches and any unique memorabilia in between. Gorilla Joe Printing also helps forecast your inventory, whether you're on or off the road, so you never run out of stock or end up with too much. They even help bands manage their e-commerce stores, keeping your merch business running smoothly 24/7 so you can focus on what you do best, performing. For more info, check out GorillaJoePrinting.com. Those days back on the West Hill and Sharon and hanging out at Derek's house, and that was like my first time really drinking and partying with people, being like
me too.
16, like, 17. I think met you. I think I met you when I was 15.
Probably. I mean, we're not that far off in age, but like,
no.
Yeah, like, I mean, there was a lot of things that happened at that house. Like,
sure were.
I remember one time. Well, good. What?
I was gonna say the one time that we packed the fridge front to back. We emptied it. It was just full of beer, the entire thing. And then someone brought over weed, and we all went into the basement and smoked weed. And nobody drank all night. We just sat down there and kept smoking weed and telling stories, and like everyone was dying. Like I've never been in a party before or since like that, where we just forgot to go upstairs and get beers, and like the whole fridge was still full like the next morning because we got so high, but it was so much fun.
Yeah, I don't remember that. I remember one time we were there. You guys were there, and it was Robinson too. And I think we like tackled Greg on the ground, and like I pulled his pants off or something like that, like just jokingly. It wasn't like a rape, anything like that. I don't remember if this actually happened, but I remember wanting to grab his keys and move his car somewhere where he wouldn't be able to find it, thinking somebody stole it. So I was waiting for him to pass out and I'd take his keys, and I don't remember if that really happened or if we just thought about it.
I remember you depantsing him. I think, and like I think he was like really mad about it, or if it wasn't him, somebody was, because that happened probably fairly often there.
Probably, yeah.
But shout out to Greg. I got to get him on soon.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna fair warn you, the room that I'm in right now, it has a 30-minute timer on the lights, so I might have to periodically get up and turn it back on.
Is that where we did the music video?
No. This is Nate's office.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted to be in here.
Too many edits on this podcast.
Yeah, I don't want to get anybody's name wrong, so we'll just edit that out.
No, I just had to fix one on the last one. Allie accidentally said the wrong name. She's like, please take that out. I was like, no problem.
That was cool.
I don't want anyone to fuck up, or I want to make everyone sound smart and cool. So
yeah. And I mean,
but also about keeping it real, because like I haven't edited much. I'll edit out the piss break or like whatever, but so far it's been pretty organic and just whatever happens.
Yeah.
She was super cool. Shout out to her.
Yeah, that was. It's like I said, I'm about halfway through, and it's super cool. There's so many podcasts that I listen to that all come out on Mondays, and I mean, I like the fact that I never run out of shit to listen to. So it's like, I'm going through yours, at like whenever I can. When I used to have such a large commute to work when I lived in Geneva, there wasn't people. I couldn't keep up. Like podcasts couldn't keep up with how much time that I had because I was driving an hour and a half every day.
Right.
Now it's like all these audio books that I bought don't even get listened to right now because I don't really have much of a commute.
Yeah, there's so many goddamn podcasts. That was like when I started, I was like, do we really need another podcast out there? Is anyone going to give a shit? But like,
You know what, dude? I mean,
so far it's fucking awesome. And also, yeah, who gives a fuck? But
yeah, like do it until it sucks if you don't want to do it anymore. But like, I think, I mean, I'm not like trying to fucking S your D, but I mean, like you're putting content out there that I think people want to hear, and like,
thank you.
yeah, I mean, it's interesting stuff, and like, you don't just have the same metal dudes and metal bands talking about the same tours and like pissing in rugs, and
That's what I always wanted it to be from the beginning. Like, I'll talk to anyone from any genre, no matter what you do. Like, if you're cool and you love chatting about whatever, and you're like passionate about music and shit, like, cool, let's chat. Because I don't only like metal. I really don't even listen to much metal. So, like, why pigeonhole myself, especially into like our era where we're from? Like, I'm gonna run out of people from the MySpace days and the Robinson and from a Second Story Window days. So it's like, if I want to keep going, I have to expand anyway. And that was always my goal. It's never been supposed to be a metal podcast.
Yeah, I mean, like, I've been a lot more on the floor in production recently, and I mean, every 5 minutes I'm looking over at Nate and Tyler and saying, "Who are these fucking assholes? Like, who are you guys playing right now?" And like, I'm like, "That fucking sucks," or like, whatever. A lot of it's really, really good, but some of it I'm just like,
yeah.
Not that I'm this music snob, because I'm not, but I just, sometimes I'm just
I think there's just so many goddamn bands now, and like I hear like I can't keep up, and I'm not even trying to. But when I hear shit, I'm like, this is all pretty good, but it all sounds like a lot of the same shit to me, like the overproduced metal stuff these days. So like, you got to dig to find like the grittier, grimier, cooler stuff.
Yeah, 100%.
It's just like overload. But I was saying in the intro though too, like my first goal was just to make it to 20 episodes, and we're on 18 now, which is crazy. So it's been 18 weeks of doing this straight since December. And my buddy Mike, shout out to him down in Texas, he started a podcast at the same time, so we made a pact. And if you remember, I did a weight loss challenge with him before.
Yeah.
He said if you didn't hit your weight, you had to get that tattoo of the guy sucking his own dick. I sent it to you.
Yeah.
It was that stick
with his
figure.
legs above his head.
Yeah.
I want to get that tattoo just cuz.
He had like the meme guy face. And luckily no one had to get that. But we were like, let's do a similar thing. Like, if you don't make it to 20, no matter how bad it's going, you got to keep going. So, but it's going well. So that's good.
Cool. Yeah, man. I mean, there's some friends of mine in the print industry that started a podcast just for the fuck of it. There's two dudes that just talked to each other on the phone daily anyways, and talked about just print problems and all that other stuff. And they started a podcast, and I think they're on almost episode 300, which, I mean, I was on episode 33, which, I mean, that was a couple of years ago, but like,
holy shit. Yeah,
dude. And it comes out every Monday. I mean, they do it every single week. Like, they kind of like broke up a little bit. The one guy left, not on bad terms, but so the other guy took it over. But like, yeah, dude, 300 fucking episodes, man.
Yeah. That I can't even like fathom like 100 right now. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But like, I want eventually, because it is a lot of work to do all the editing and all the stuff after this. Like, this is the fun, easy part.
Yeah.
And then like, I have to go listen to myself for almost the whole thing, pulling out the good moments for the clips, and then doing the graphics, and then the social media, and then just the edit itself, and putting in like the ad and like the intro and outro and music and all that. So like, I understand why people like hire an editor as soon as they can.
Yeah. I think they got, I want to say maybe 25, 30 episodes in, and I think they had some guy that would do like, they do a unique intro every episode because they have to announce who it is. But like, and then he edits everything. But like, they're pretty robust on the sponsor end.
Yeah, I'm happy with anything. Like,
sure.
And thank you for being the first sponsor.
Oh yeah, man. I want to keep it going. I mean, it's it was something I could, absolutely.
Yeah. No, it was cool because it was like, it's like, I know it's early and I'm getting like a few hundred plays per episode, but when I like look at the stats of like podcasts, like that's pretty rare to have that at the beginning. So it's like, we already kind of had a built-in audience from like the people who knew the band and Robinson and stuff like that. So I was just like, wow, this is going way better than I thought right away. So I was like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. I mean, I really like the shit that Gary Vee always talks about. Like, And, he says, start the fucking podcast now. Who cares if there's 0 fucking following you, blah, blah, blah. And I like that. That's pretty motivational. And but if you have an audience already, it's like, okay, sick. I fucking have an upper hand already.
Yeah. I've been doing social media so long for work, but I've never really done much for myself outside of even just the band for a couple of years. So when I started this, it's funny, everything mentally changes when it's you doing it. And when you first start, you're like, oh, this has to be good. Or I don't want to suck and it's going to be embarrassing. And you got to realize that nobody gives a fuck. They don't even care if it sucks. They're not going to say it. They're just going to swipe. 100%. So after you put out 3, 4, 5 videos, you just stop caring yourself. You're like, fuck it. I'm just going to put them all out. I don't give a shit about anything anymore.
Yeah. I mean, that's, I still don't like filming stuff like videos and stuff, but I've gotten so used to just I mean, really, who the fuck?
But you're naturally funny. Yours are so funny just because that's who you are, and if you just be yourself, it's great.
Yeah, it's when I'm being not myself, or if I'm being unorganic, that's when I'm like, oh, I look like a fucking asshole. When I'm trying to smile in a picture, and I'm like, and I'm like, yeah, I look like a fucking fat fucking red piece of shit. But if you catch me just doing my normal, just whatever, then I'm okay with it. And I'm like, yeah, I can accept that. I look kind of
totally
good there, Yeah.
I don't know if you saw, I started doing these YouTube shorts where I'm just reading crazy facts about musicians.
No, I didn't see that. That's good. That sounds cool.
I haven't posted it on anything else because I'm just going to try this on YouTube Shorts, and the first one got 20,000 views in a couple days.
Wow.
Which one was it? I already forgot because I've recorded 4 of them. It was about how Trent Reznor recorded Downward Spiral in the Sharon Tate house.
Okay.
And
you were there.
And what?
Weren't you there before for a party?
Oh yeah, I wasn't at the actual house because it was demolished, but I was right next door.
Yeah, okay, the neighbor.
Yeah, the guy owns the house right at the gate, right next to it, and he claimed his house was haunted by Sharon Tate and all this crazy shit. He had a ghost hunting team come over, and he threw a party, and then the original Leatherface guy who played him was there.
Gunnar Hansen?
Yeah. And so we're walking through the house as this team is doing their shit like ghost hunters, and the lights start flickering and all this. I'm like, what the fuck? Does he have the house rigged? He was kind of crazy. But it was really fun. And you're right outside the gate is there. You can see, I went up and looked through it, but it was all demolished after Trent left. But yeah, so I read that fact. It was just Trent Reznor recorded the Downward Spiral in the house. He claimed he didn't know it was the house, but he named it Le Pig. And just told the story, and I put a few pictures of them wheeling her out on the stretcher, her body, and it got 20,000 views, and I was like, holy fuck! So I did another one about dude from Rolling Stones snorted his dad's ashes with cocaine.
I think I heard that before, actually.
Yeah, so I just found those. I'm I'm just gonna read them off, and I was to the point where I'm just reading a script, and I don't even care. It's just fun.
Yeah,
I'll try anything. Yeah,
I mean. Yeah, there's just a lot that, some of the shit that I watch, I don't know why the fuck I watch it, but it's interesting. There's this, this Polish lady. She's, probably 35 or 38 or something like that. She's a stay-at-home mom, and, she, cooks this food for her kids, and she just sloppily eats and stuff like that. And it's you know what? You're making yourself look like crap, but it's awesome. I love her. I think she's great. You know what I mean? She doesn't give a fuck, and so many people are so worried about just saying the most perfect thing. And they worry so much that they don't do it. And you really just got to do it.
That,
you just got to
that
film
organic
yourself.
Type content is huge now. Everybody wants to see you just being real. So you don't need the best camera. You don't need the perfect mic. And I'm guilty of that. I love high production quality, everything. But but you really don't need it. People go viral and they're making millions of dollars a year just shooting themselves on their phone talking.
Yeah.
I think that there's a big shift from the old school way of the news and media, and that's why podcasts are getting so huge. Everyone's realizing how much bullshit comes out of that stuff, and they're I learned what really happened from just these two guys talking on a podcast, being themselves, no script, no commercial, just people are hungry for real stuff. I think that's why everything is shifting.
Definitely. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
So you told me, well, you were talking about it on a podcast. I didn't listen to it, but the whole like sleep paralysis thing.
Yeah.
Do you want? I'll tell you this: the day that it happened to me, and then it hasn't happened to me in a long, long time. But I can't remember if you were in the band, but we were in someone's basement, and I think I'm gonna drop my fucking AirPod. Hold on. Little fucker grew legs and fell out of my ear. We were in like Missouri or somewhere, and we were sleeping in like a finished basement of some kid's house, and I was sleeping on the floor. And I remember waking up, thought I woke up, and feeling this wind just rushing past me because I was sleeping like in the, like this, and I couldn't get up, and I felt all this just wind and just this thing just holding me down, and it stayed for a while, but in my old house, my first house that I bought and was started my company in and everything, it was happening almost every night, and it was terrifying. Like
You had sleep paralysis almost every night?
almost every night,
Holy shit.
like for like almost a year, and it would come and go, but it felt like somebody was in my room, like just holding me down and on top of me, and like it's so weird that I couldn't even convey what it felt like, but like when you see other people who are way better at communicating than apparently me, having these like I guess like just ideas of what it is or what it feels like or what it looks like. It's exactly the same exact thing. Just like how everybody has that fucking dream of their teeth falling out. Or like when you're trying to punch in a dream, your hands move really slow.
Yeah, it's like you're underwater.
How is that a thing for everybody? Like,
I don't know. That was what got me the most about it. I was like, I understand, because like I read all about the scientific reasons why it happens, and you're half asleep and you're in REM sleep, but your body's waking up, but your mind's still asleep. But it's like, why is it always the same? And why is it like a terrifying fucking demon each time? Shouldn't it be a random hallucination, like kind of like your dreams or something? Like, and that's why it's been such a thing throughout history. I was like, you can look up all those paintings and stuff, like people and some of them are like these little creatures, like a cat sitting on the edge of the bed. That's what it feels like. I had that too. The first time it happened, second time it happened, I was in college, sleeping on my futon, and I had the door shut and locked. I was taking a nap in the middle of the day, and it felt like a dog jumped up on the bed and like cuddled in between me and like the futon, and it felt like a pet. And I'm half asleep. I'm like, oh, it's just the dog. But I'm like, I don't have a fucking dog. I'm in college alone, like, and there's no one else here. So I tried to get up and move, and I couldn't move. And I could feel this little thing. It felt like a little cat or a dog on the bed with me. Which you look at those paintings, like those little creatures sitting by your feet. It's like, what is that? Why?
I don't know. Mine never had a face or anything like that. It was more of like, you remember in Ghostbusters when I can't remember what scene it was, but like it was like, I think when Dana was like hovering or some ghost was hovering either over, I don't know, one of them, but like it just feels like there's just something like
Dan Aykroyd, I think, when his pants were getting undone.
BJ, when he's getting But like it just feels like there's like this black mass of like just wind and like something just completely keeping me from moving. And like I said, I never saw it as a figure. I never even felt anything physical. It was just all kind of like I said, wind and force. It was just.
I never felt the wind. That's weird. But most of mine
it just rushed past my head. Like it was fucked up.
That's crazy. Most of mine have been like the big black long figure, and I only saw it once or twice, maybe twice. Because the most recent one that made me talk about it on the podcast, I was like, people are going to think I'm fucking kooky, but I'm going to tell it anyway because it jarred me for a couple of days. It was so real. And like I could look over my shoulder and saw this big black thing holding me down. And I could feel it on my back, and it hisses in my ear like this, and like I can feel it tingling, almost like electronic static, and it goes through my whole fucking body. And that's the second time that happened, but that was just so fucking fucked up that I was like, I got to tell the story. And then a bunch of people like you have said, oh, it happened to me, and started messaging me. And Shane had me on his paranormal podcast to talk about it. So shout out to Shane. But I love talking about that shit. I could talk about it forever.
Yeah.
Well, there was when I was asking the band chat about things to talk about when I went on there, was it Bob Powers who stole that tombstone?
Yeah.
Or Bill Smith? Who was it?
No, it was Bob Powers. No. I stole the tombstone.
Oh, you did?
I took it out of the ground, and then he kept it and stole it and kept it under his bed.
Where were you guys to steal a tombstone?
I mean, I feel like shit about this now, kind of, but like we looked up like places that were like haunted in Ohio, and we found this like little circle of trees in the middle of a field, like on this website. And we went there one night. We fucking took the Ouija board, whatever, blah blah blah. And like we're sitting there, we're doing it, and like it spells out fucking Pezuzu. We didn't know what the fuck that was. I think it was probably rigged from somebody who was playing it, but we ended up taking the tombstone. I grabbed the tombstone, and I'm running through the field like this, throw it in the van, and when we go back to Derek's house, the tombstone was in a different language, and they transcribed it, and it said, firstborn of blah, 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 whatever. So, I mean, that's why I kind of feel like shit, too. If it's some old lady, whatever, But, like, but when they looked up Pazuzu, that's like the demon in The Exorcist or something like that. Like, that's...
Yeah.
And it's like protector of firstborn, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I mean, it was kind of coincidental. I don't think it was magic. I don't think it was, like, anything else. But, he ended up taking the tombstone and keeping it and kept it under his bed. And
I remember that. I was like, fuck no. I didn't believe the Ouija board thing, but keeping it under your bed is fucked up.
Yeah. I mean, I was probably 19. Something like that.
I remember you guys telling me that story because I wasn't there that night, but that's fucking crazy. We did be it like growing up in Ohio, that like the haunted stuff, that's like a thing to do. We did that with Nico.
Remember Zombieland?
Yeah. Got chased there many times by fucking hillbillies and pickup trucks.
I never ever got chased there.
Yeah.
And I went a couple times. Like
Brady and I was driving my mom's car because I didn't have my own yet. I just got my license. And so driving all the way out to fucking Zombieland. And we're just going around, and all of a sudden these headlights are like, it's like high. So it's a big truck, and they're just flashing their lights, and they're getting close and backing off. So I start driving fast, and I'm freaking out. Luckily, didn't wreck the car because I just got my license. But yeah, we got chased there at least 2 or 3 times.
My light went out. Do you want me to put it back on, or is this cool?
Whatever you want.
I'll put it back on. Didn't you drive Jeremy's car and fuck it up, and his mom got mad at you?
Yeah, that was the next story I was going to tell. So Jeremy, first drummer from a Second Story Window, and Robinson. When we started our band, Good Day to Die, he had a white, was it a Sunfire? Cavalier. Yeah. So for some reason, I was driving it that night just because I knew where to go there. And we go back there, and we're driving. You go over this creepy bridge, and then you hit a road that goes around like in a big U. And we went to the right, and there's all these creepy trees. It's like it's straight out of a horror movie. It's awesome there. And we go around this bend, and there was a bunch of people just outside at their house. Like, I don't know if they were having a bonfire or whatever, but in our heads when we were young, we're like, oh, it's these weird people doing, and it's just probably like a family just hanging out. And they see these assholes driving by staring at them. So we kept going by the house. And then eventually, the last time on our way out, someone put a fucking cement block in the street, and we didn't see it because it was dark, and we're all looking out, and I just run over it. So they were trying to fuck up our car, thinking we were the pieces of shit, which we were. And so I drive out of there. The car's making noise. We pull out to this gas station we get to and look underneath. All the pipes are like leaking fucking fluids and shit. And yes. So he took it home. He's like, my dad's going to kill me. He's like, but he's going to blame it on you. And he's like, I'm just going to tell him you're really poor and like make him feel bad for you. So you don't have to pay for it. Why would he just say
he was driving?
I don't know. Like he was probably scared of his dad.
Oh. Well, yeah, his dad still talks about a gas can that I owe him from like 1999.
What was his dad's name?
Gary.
Yep.
Yeah. Gary Bear.
And his mom, she was cool as fuck. What was her name?
She was cool as fuck. Willie,
yeah.
Yeah.
I love talking to her. Mm-hmm. I miss Jeremy. I haven't seen him in a long time.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in a long time either.
I think the last time was at our friend Zacho's wedding in like 2018 or 2019 when I went to Pittsburgh. Saw him and Greg at the bar that night. That was fun.
Shit.
Yeah.
Fuck, man.
Well, fuck. What else do you want to talk about?
Man, I'm down to talk about whatever, man.
Were you in a band before Aphasia?
No.
No.
No, I wasn't. I always made like show flyers for bands that I wanted to be in, like just like fake names and shit like that. Yeah, like it was just kind of like okay. But I played with some kids in the neighborhood, but like I would basically taught them how to play their instrument, and like I'm not that great, so like it was pretty shitty.
Yeah, you're like, if I'm teaching you, then we're in trouble.
Like I'm good enough to be in a band, like just our band, and I'm fine with that. Like after our band broke up, I was in two other bands, and it worked out somehow. I mean, it was great, but like, yeah, really, I mean, no, nothing really, anything crazy.
Did you play guitar first, or was it always bass?
I played guitar first, and then switched to bass when couldn't. I mean, everybody wanted to play guitar, so
Yeah.
I switched to bass because I was like, well, it's only 4 strings instead of 6. Kind of distort my sound, kind of hide behind some shit, that kind of thing. And I don't know. I don't know. I like bass. Like my first inspiration for bass was Twiggy Ramirez from Marilyn Manson. So I was like,
Yep.
yeah, I want to do that.
Well, so you played guitar in those other bands, right?
After our band broke up,
Yeah.
I played bass in the one band. It was called Horses That People Teeth, and I sang. And then I played guitar in the band I was in with Jeremy. I played guitar in that band and sang.
But you like bass better?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what we were trying to do in that band I was playing guitar and basically just rip off the band Orchid. I mean,
Yeah.
and that's
That shit was
basically what
good.
we
I
did.
didn't really listen to it until like recently, like last year when did you have it in your car? Or somewhere, or I don't remember.
I mean, probably on my phone. I don't have CDs.
When we were driving back from Pittsburgh, when you came to pick me up, we listened to it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
It was
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, man, it was fun. It was very, very crudely recorded by our friend Johnny. Like he had very limited resources. He converted this old shitty garage into a studio, and like I mean, did the best he could, and it was fun. It was great. If it was recorded any better, I think it probably would have sucked way more. Like
It suits that style of music.
right. Like
I never heard a band sound like that with a good recording.
yeah, exactly. And it's funny because Orchid recorded at Kurt Ballew's studio, and I mean I think that studio is one of the best studios I've ever heard anything be recorded at. But theirs is very raw, and I'm sure that either he was early on in the game then, or that's how they wanted it to sound.
Yeah. Well, he kind of deliberately goes for that sound too, though.
Yeah.
The more raw sound. I'm sure he got obviously way better over the years. Converge is going in the studio. I just saw Stoked.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice. Fuck yeah.
I think it was just this morning. Lamb Goat posted it, but they're going like the last record they did was the Dusk in Us, like 2017. So this is their first full length following that up. I guess they did that Blood Moon one or whatever, but
Yeah.
with what was the chick that was on that?
I'm not sure. I listened to that a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't really get into it very much, but like Dusk and Us, I fucking love. So whatever they do, I'm gonna like it. So
Right. Me too. Yeah.
So I had a question about the early days of aphasia. I can't remember what it was.
Cool. Maybe you should write it down next time.
Oh, so I've always heard the story from like Rob's point of view because like we went to high school together. So he was in Hot Topic with Jeff and met you.
No, he wasn't in there. I don't.
Okay,
think
so
he was.
oh no, it was just Jeff, right? Because you were like, we're looking for
Yeah.
a singer, and he's like, well, I got this guitar player who kind of needs to come with me. We're looking for a band, and he was like,
So-
I got in the band just because I had a half stack.
Yeah, 100%. Like I was. My aunt took me to the mall. I was like 15, I went in Hot Topic. I was working at the haunted house that night, so she probably picked me up on a Friday or something like that, and probably got pizza with my cousin and stuff, and went to the mall. And I was in Hot Topic, and I saw this guy who looked kind of like he would be, maybe a singer or something like that. And at that time, it was just me, Derek, and Jeremy. And when I went up to Jeff and I said, "Hey, man, do you sing?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh, cool. Well, are you in a band?" He goes, "Well, me and this other guy are trying to start a band." And I was like, "Oh, we already got like a guitar player, but And I think maybe that weekend or the weekend after they came over, and yeah, Rob pulls this friggin' half stack in, and we're like, all right, well, I mean, he's in now.
Yeah.
We had practice games.
Yeah.
We were like, oh, this is sick.
He must be
And,
legit.
yeah. And I mean, it was a funny coincidence,
How long were you guys playing before you met him?
I mean, a couple years. Not a couple years, no. I'm sorry. Everything feels like a couple years when you're fucking 14 and 15 because, like, you're waiting for Christmas, you're waiting to get your license,
Time does move a lot faster when you're old, yeah.
Dude, I can't believe it's fucking April 1st tomorrow. Like, holy shit.
Nope.
But anyways, I think we were playing for about a year or so. I think the way we met Jeremy was kind of weird. He
That's
was
what
in
I was
a
going to
band.
ask. How did you meet Jeremy and Derek?
So, Derek, I don't remember how I met Derek. I don't remember how I met him, to be honest with you. It's kind of fucking weird. But, like, I feel like it was like I met him and that was it. But the way we met Jeremy was somehow, maybe because he worked at the movie theater, I think he might have found out about Jeremy. But we went to a band practice of his at his mom's house, and his band at the time sounded like Green Day. But we knew he was a really good drummer, and he was into some of the bands we were into. So that didn't end up working out really. I don't even know if they played a show or not. But yeah, I mean, we just started hanging out and
Like he
playing.
kind of stuck out like a sore thumb in that band and always felt like he's so good, but he doesn't really want to be here.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. I mean, he felt stupid. We were a new metal band. Like he
Yeah.
he felt stupid playing new metal, and I wish I felt stupid enough not to do it. But I mean, it was a lot of fun, you know.
It was. I mean, and like I admittedly loved it and still love it. But he was so fucking good, and he made that like very simple new metal like so unique, like the way he played. I don't even know what the fuck he was doing. Like just the fills he would do and shit. Like it was
I
so
know.
crazy. And it
Yeah,
was like he was playing a completely different style to these simple like dun 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 with like some corn effects, you know. But he made it so different.
Yeah, he definitely did. And like, I was bummed out when he was like, "Yeah, I fucking quit," because he wasn't like nice about it. Like he wasn't like,
Of course he wasn't.
"All right, guys, I've done what I had to do," blah blah. He's like, "I fucking quit. I can't do this anymore. This shit sucks."
Yeah. I just realized I never heard that story like of how he quit. Only that he did.
Yeah,
It was just one day he was like, fuck this.
Yeah, pretty much, man.
And then you came over to our practice.
Yeah, and we
Was it like
coached
the
Nick.
same month, the same week?
I don't fucking remember, man.
Yeah.
I don't remember
But
at
I just
all.
remember you, Rob, maybe Jeff was there too. And you watched us play. And someone was like, that kid's really good.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe we'll ask him to play. And then,
Well, since you guys aren't really doing anything, why
Yeah.
don't you hop on over to our side?
we were so nervous when you guys were coming over. We're like, oh my God, we got to play really good today. And then, yeah, so they stole Nick from me. And then I was happy for him, but also mad at the same time. Like, damn it. Like, because
Yeah.
Nick is Nick. He's so fucking good too. We were like, who the
time-
fuck are we going to get now?
Do you remember at the time he couldn't really play double bass? So
Yeah.
he'd like kind of do the fake it thing on the toms.
Mm-hmm.
Like the gallopy shit.
He did that. He's doing that in the new song in Death Waltz. He's like, I took this from myself, and it's that fill he added right before that big break in the where he goes dun dun. Right before that, he goes dun 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 dun. So he would
Yeah,
do like he would do a fake, use the floor tom to fill in where he couldn't do like double bass with his other foot, but now he's using it on purpose as like a cool fill, which is neat.
sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, and like that's when like Chimera became a thing, and we're like, okay, everybody needs to do double bass now.
Yeah.
And I think we were trying to do our band at the same time for a little bit, and he like one of our practices, he was like, they brought over this Chimera, this Present Darkness EP, and they told me they want
I
to do
love that
this,
thing.
and he's like, fuck, I can't do that. So he started figuring out, but not long he could do it.
Yeah. Oh, I know. It didn't take very long at all.
No, no, that EP is so fucking good. Still, I listened to it
Oh
not
yeah.
long ago.
Yeah.
And then
There was like, I don't know. I remember hearing like when we first started listening to them, I heard that like they would beat up any band that they fucking played with or something. Like it was like this such a stupid fucking rumor, and
yeah,
they just fucked everyone up. Like, and dude, I don't know. We played with them in Cleveland one time when we were aphasia, and I don't know why or how we got on this show, but this show
Merry
was
Christmas.
outside. No, this was the first time we ever played with them, and there was a band called like this old hardcore band called Ignite that played, and Chimera, and they put us on after everybody, and
Really?
we've never played Cleveland before. We were in our teens.
Yeah,
They're probably just like, fuck, I forgot about these kids playing, and they're
they
here.
put you on last.
There was nobody there to watch us.
Oh my god! It was outdoor.
Yeah, on a deck, like a wooden deck, man. It was
Was it like a
so
real
dumb.
venue or what was it?
I don't even fucking remember. It was silly as fuck though. It
Nick was
was
just saying the other day about the first time that we came to see you guys was in like at a backyard graduation party or something, and it was like all muddy, and there was like wooden, like you put down like plywood to set up everything on, and like everything was like falling over because it was like muddy and shitty, and like Nick and I were holding up your bass amp like while you guys played, and we were like, oh, we're like part of this, like this is cool.
dude. I don't
And I
I don't know where that
completely
would have
forgot
been.
about that. I think he said it at the show on Friday. We like I don't know, but
Damn.
those days were fucking crazy.
Yeah, man. Do you
And
remember that
then
practice space, the Slander's practice space we'd go to?
yeah, I was terrified. We were like 15. I don't think I'd ever really drank a beer before. And then like we're just in there with everyone's like smoking weed and like passing around beers, and there's like skeezy girls and shit. I was just like, where the fuck am I?
Yeah. That shit was awesome.
It was awesome. That's where Rob's car got stolen.
I know, all my CDs too.
Yeah. He said
Fuck.
they stole his car and then they broke into Jeff's. They smoked a joint and left it on the seat or something.
Something like that, dude. Oh man. Yeah.
No, that those days were so fun though. Like partying on Derek's front porch, like barbecuing. The cops would come all the time. It was just like for me, especially like I had never fit in anywhere. I didn't play sports, anything. So it was like I finally like, oh, I like music. I like being in bands. I actually get to hang out with people who are like me, and I felt like for the first time, oh, I'm part of like a group, and it's cool. And
Yeah.
yeah, then I think it was you who introduced me to Jeremy when after he quit, and like
Maybe.
when him and Greg were ready to start a band and they were playing.
And you guys formed a Good Day to Die.
Yeah, because I don't remember how it came up, but I think it was you that were like, they're trying out guitar players that they're trying to start a band if you want to go. So I drove out to Hermitage, and they were practicing Greg's mom's house in the basement, and that's how that all got started.
Yeah, man. Like me, him, and Greg played some stuff like by ourselves. I don't know what. when or how or why. Maybe we were trying to start something different. I can't remember, man. That was there's a lot of things that like surfaced that didn't last very long that I haven't thought about in a very long time. That like I'm like, oh shit, I remember that now. And like,
Do you remember when you played bass for us and you were like, I'm
yeah,
going to
yeah,
be
yeah,
in this band too?
yeah.
But you guys were so busy that wasn't going to last.
Well, my knuckles are all fucked up from that one show at Section 8 because that fucking kid was like mocking me. And like,
Yeah.
not that I'm this fucking hard ass, but I got really pissed off. And instead of fucking punching him, I punched my bass cab, which had a metal grate on it. So it cheese grated my fucking hand.
Yeah.
And like, it just cut all the skin off of it. And then the next day, we had that show. You weren't in the band though. You traveled with us though. We had a show in Cincinnati with, it was like Every Time I Die, Norma Jean, Bleeding Through, As Hope Dies,
Holy
Taking.
shit. I forgot As Hope Dies was on it. Holy fuck, what a lineup.
I know, man. It was an all day thing, but like, yeah, that was crazy.
I just
only
brought
18.
that show up to Greg. He texted me like asking, he's like, do you know anyone in Cincinnati? I don't know if they were trying to set up a show with his band now or whatever. And I was like, I don't think I've been in Cincinnati since that day. I was like, that show with Norma Jean and Every Time I Die. And we were all like pretending like we knew how to hardcore dance and stuff. Like, that was my first time like seeing any of those bands, I think.
Well, as soon as when Norma Jean went on, like, I mean, this was like a very DIY venue, obviously. It was during the day. Like, there was no, like, I mean, stage lights. That doesn't fucking matter. It was just like, people, just a couple bands just kind of setting up and playing. But, like, when they played, it was before Bless the Martyr even came out. And, like, they went into that song, I used to hate cell phones, but now I hate car accidents, or whatever the fuck it's called.
Wow.
I really
Before
like
that record
song.
came out.
Yeah, it was before, because Josh was still in the band. And it was before it came out. But they went into that song and like they did these guitar whips like just we're like you turned around to Nick and was like, holy shit. And I have it on film, like I have it on video. I think it's on YouTube somewhere, but like yeah, man, we were like, whoa.
Yeah, that shit was mind blowing because does Nick Sarah have that video? Is that out there somewhere?
I'm sure, like I like I said, I had a whole fucking case of tapes that I gave him to edit and put up wherever, So
Wow,
I'm sure he does.
But yeah, that was like still transitioning out of nu metal, and we were all like,
yeah,
we want to be hardcore. Didn't even know really what that meant, but we're like, let's all dress like greasers for some reason.
That was the fad then, man. Like, I mean,
so funny. But yeah, that was just like, I don't know, it was such a magical time of like figuring out things and like hearing all these new bands and like Converge and Unearth and like whatever Jeremy was showing me. And like, I don't know, it was just such a pivotal time in like figuring out what like, I don't know, what we wanted to do musically. And joining with Jeremy and Greg, like I walked into that first practice with them just new metal as fuck, still wearing UFOs and probably my purple bangs because I wanted to like have the same hair Rob did. And they're like telling me about breakdowns. I'd never heard of like, what's a breakdown? And he's like, oh, you just chug like this. You can do that already. Like, okay. Just like, it's crazy.
Yeah. Even like when it was weird. I had some very random CDs in my collection of shit. Even when I was listening to new metal, somehow I got a hold of Dillinger Escape Plan, Under the Running Board. It was a 3-song like EP type thing. I really liked it. I did have a Converge album, the When Forever Comes Crashing.
Yeah, I love that album.
Yeah, and there was some other random shit too that made it into like I don't know how I heard about them or whatever, but like I heard about them and listened to them and liked them, but it didn't feel like any kind of like movement, meaning like to change my there was just bands I liked and I still liked the majority of the shit. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna it's like hardcore music or whatever. Like I don't know. It's just something I liked. It just kind of random. So I'd listen to some fucking rap metal band, and then I'd listen to fucking Dillinger Escape Plan Under the Running Board.
Yeah.
And not even think about it. But
Poison the Well was probably the one that changed it.
Well, yeah. That was, yeah. And like the first time I ever saw them, I was 16 and their singer was sick. And I was outside waiting and like just waiting around to get into the show. And I asked them, I went up to them, I said, "Hey, are you guys going to play?" They're like, "We might play, but we might play without a singer." I was like, "I know all your songs. Like, I mean, and I don't suck. Like, I could scream for you right now or whatever, you know." And what they ended up doing was had people from each band or someone in the audience or whatever sing each song. So it was like a different singer for each song. And I got to
Yeah.
sing the artist rendering of me. And I mean, I'm fucking 16 years old, like singing with my favorite band at the time. And
Yeah.
like,
That's incredible.
I'm like giving the mic to kids and shit like that. And like, I went to school the next day and I was just like, why the fuck am I even here? Like,
Yeah. That video is out there too. That's on Nick Sarah's channel for sure.
yeah.
Sean
yeah.
shared that, I think, to our Instagram or to his own, and then shared it. But that's so fucking crazy. I forgot about that completely until I saw that clip.
I'm like, that put something in my brain for the rest of my life that all you really have to do in life is ask. Just ask. Like, ask to do whatever. Like, if you want to do something, if you want to, you know, all it is an ask, and all somebody can do is say no. And so, like, when I was like, yeah, I'd like to sing this if it's possible, and they were like, yeah, fuck it. Like, I was like, fuck, what else could I ask for? You know, like I mean,
It's true.
like,
Yeah.
nothing like bad. Just I mean, just you know, and anything like,
Yeah. You just go for it.
yeah,
I was always, especially back then, super shy and reserved. It took me a long time to like come out of my shell that way and like have confidence to like just go for things. I think being in the band and doing all the things we did really helped me with life in general, just because like, holy shit, look what's possible. Like did it with Robinson, booking our own tours. I pretty much just like I do now. Like I'll do that. I'll build the website. I'll do the MySpace, like whatever. And like all of a sudden we had a full US tour booked and I was like, holy shit. And for the most part, it didn't fall apart and it worked. And we made enough money to make it to the next one. And then when I finally left, you called me.
yeah,
When I was in Arkansas, sleeping, hungover as fuck, and you were like, "Yeah, Derek left the band last night. We, we'd like you to fill in if you want to. We don't want to piss those guys off, but we'll pay you. And if you have nothing, booked, then you want to do it." And I was like, "Fuck yeah," because we had nothing going on. And then things just like weren't going that well for us. So I was like, "Yeah, obviously, eventually I'll join full time." But then we did so much after that. Like I jumped right into like the Three Guys of the Dead tour with the Cage Train, and then we had like it was just like back to back tours. And we went to Europe twice, and like doing that and going to all those places and seeing all those things and what's possible, and like feeling like that was so unattainable before. It just opens up the world of possibilities to you, whether it be business or just anything in life. You just it is possible. So fucking go do it.
Yeah.
And without all that, I probably wouldn't have had the balls to move to California and shit when we broke up. Like,
yeah, I mean, like, I was supposed to move with you, and like,
that's right.
I got in some legal trouble. I couldn't go.
Yeah.
I mean, in hindsight, I'm glad I didn't go, but it would have been kind of cool maybe to go out there for a couple of years or something like that, just to kind of see what it was like.
Just see what happens. Yeah, that's all I was doing. I didn't expect to make it very long.
Yeah. I feel bad for dudes that are like our age now that want to tour for the first time, because it's like that's a young man's game. I mean, young woman's game. Like, I mean,
you need to have already done that and surpass it to keep going. I mean, at a comfortable level.
Sleeping like shit, if at all, that's for your 20s. Like when we're older now, it's like, what's the rating on the hotel? Like, I don't want to sound, like a little, shithead, but like, I mean, I want to take a shower. Like,
yeah, like we went days without showering, or would stay at like literally. Will would be like, anyone have a place we can sleep at tonight? Like,
oh yeah,
so we didn't have enough money to pay for it, but you didn't care about anything.
No,
it was just like happy to be here. Got some pizza and some free water and a couple beers. All right,
we just sustaining. Like, get me enough money to the next place, and a little extra when our van breaks down. But like,
that I think I saw that you liked it. There was that meme the other day. It was just a picture of a shitty van with like pillows and like a dude stuffed in. It said, "Van dudes will see this and go hell yeah." And I wanted to comment and go hell no, I don't, not anymore.
Yeah. I mean, when it gets to the point where you know who farted without even hearing it.
You've been through it.
Yeah, and you smell it, and you're like, "Yep, that's Paul, or that's Nick, or whoever." Like, I mean, that's when shit gets kind of fucking weird.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, you get to know each other better than your own family because you spend so much time together in such close quarters, and like, especially when you're that young. Like, we're fucking kids driving across the country. Like, we're lucky that we survived.
yeah. I mean, like, I remember probably a year before we broke up was when finally we got one of those Garmins. But I mean, up until that, we had the fucking binder of MapQuest directions from venue to venue.
Yeah.
And then if we stayed at someone's house, we'd say, "Hey, do you have a printer? Because we need to print out directions from your house to the next venue."
God, that's makes me feel so old.
I know.
That's so funny. Yeah, and like, if something happened or a show got canceled, you were fucked with your directions until you figured out.
We couldn't read a map.
Yeah, not at all. I think we had one in the Robinson van, but like, good luck. What the fuck's that going to do?
I think Mike could read a map.
He probably could have.
Yeah, I would think so.
I think Mike is up there in like top 5 most reliable band members I've ever worked with. He was like our dad. Like, he did a lot of shit you do for our band. Like, he always made sure the van was taken care of. We had oil changes. We got paid. We got money to do this. Everything was scheduled. So shout out to Mike Illich for being the shit. I need to get him on here. He just doesn't answer my text very often.
Yeah, I like that dude a lot. I haven't seen him in fucking years.
Great dude. One of my favorite people.
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to get him to do I have that Thunder Rider 2.0 project that's just been sitting there for 8 years now. So I was like, from a second story window's done, if you want to fuck around. And I think he might be into it, but then I haven't talked to him again in a while.
Damn.
Yeah.
When's the last time you talked to him?
Sometime like end of last year, or it was something to do with Robinson. I was telling them
Sounded like a kid was screaming in the background.
It's this kid.
Oh. My cat's here somewhere.
I forget what we were talking about. Robinson is supposed to do a Pincore thing. So it might have been about that. Or no, it was when we did the merch drop. I was telling him like asking what do you guys want to do? So I'll create a Robinson group chat, but only Greg will usually respond. And then I did talk to him for a little bit. So it was whenever we did that, was that like October or something?
Yeah, I think so. Damn it.
Yeah.
1 second.
Go ahead. I'm gonna take a piss. We'll do a quick break.
Fill up my drink.
Yeah.
Holy Paul. Dude, did you hear about the shooting at a fucking holiday bar?
Shooting? No.
Yeah. So we went there yesterday, but I guess on Saturday night, some lady went outside and thought some guy was like taking pictures of her, but he was just like, he was on his phone FaceTiming with somebody. Mm-hmm. And she got shitty with him or whatever, and then he got shitty with her. She went out to her car to get a gun and just shot at him and like hit like 2 cars, didn't kill anybody, but like...
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What day was I there last?
I don't know.
I was there last week, but definitely I don't think it was that day.
Was it after practice? No, it wasn't after practice on a Thursday.
Yeah, it was. Or was it?
No, I think it was on a Sunday.
Okay, yeah, because it was. I said after our chat, I said I listened to Joe and I went to Holiday Bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I didn't even end up getting fucking wings. It sucks. But
what'd you get?
I didn't get shit.
Huh.
We just hung out for a while. Yeah, I know. And then we went to this other place in Hubbard and I got some fucking busted ass Reuben. Wasn't even that
busted ass Reuben. Yeah. No, their wings they're legit.
Yeah, they are. We need a Little Wing dates here soon. We
do. I haven't been since when Will was in town. I don't know. Yeah. Whenever we went last.
We need to use band money and go there.
Yeah, band dinner. So Little Wing is our best wing place in town.
It's like the best wings I've ever had, period. Like,
Yeah, just a little dive bar, awesome joint.
yeah.
Been going there since when did they open? Were they been around since we were kids?
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, look at it. I mean, it's, yeah. I didn't start going there until I moved in with my old roommate, Kalen Sankey. He,
Yeah.
he got me into that place. And
I know I went there a ton before I moved away.
yeah, that was like probably right when our band was kind of ending, maybe. I don't know. Maybe 2006, 2007-ish is when I started going.
Yeah. I remember it was like a few years at least before I moved because it was like my favorite too. And we'd go there all the time. And I was also like, our friend McKenna lived down the street. So like I basically lived at her house just partying and drinking all the time when I was a bum in between tours because I had nowhere to live. So those days were so fucking fun though.
It was. I mean, the place I lived in was $200 a month, and like I had a upstairs room, and you know it was great.
Yeah, you actually had your own place though. I couldn't afford to rent anywhere.
Yeah, but $200. I mean, that's I was delivering pizzas.
No, the days of $200 a month rent. Holy shit.
Fuck yeah.
Who else lived there? Kaylin? Just you two?
Just me and him. Yep.
Was it a 2-bedroom?
Yeah. I mean, like, I lived in the attic. It was finished. It was one of those rooms that like you have to walk in the middle of because you're gonna hit your head if you go over here. I'm so fucking stupid. One winter, my room was just so cold and I couldn't figure out why. Well, there's no vents up there, but I had a shoe like the windows were actually pretty new up there, but like I had a shoe holding up the window from like, because you can like open it up this way or this way. Yeah. I had it wedged up there, but I didn't realize it was about 3 inches of a gap of just cold winter air coming in my room all the time. And
my God.
Because I had blinds over that. And when I figured that out, my room got pretty warm.
Yeah, I had my mom's place to stay at, and like I didn't have a job I could come back to, so I was always doing like telemarketing, whatever place would hire me. But you run out of places eventually.
That. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. And then so I would come home and be like, well, I think I made $500 on this tour. I can make that last if I don't pay rent until we leave again. And then scrounge up change at Coinstar, buy cigarettes and beer. All I cared about was fucking drinking then. Like, it was just like, how can I get beer to drink with like Tony and Emily and whoever else was at McKenna's? So fun though.
Oh yeah. 100%. Like, yeah.
Let's talk about the reunion.
Yeah.
So when we started chatting after Wax Vessel, I don't know how many of us probably were like, we should probably do a show, but didn't want to say it because we figured everyone else would probably say no. But I think you were the first one to probably say like, we should do like maybe at least one show, like a reunion show or something, just for fun. And I was down instantly, but I'm like, I don't know how we're going to make this work. And then Nick hadn't played drums forever. Rob hadn't played guitar forever. But what were you thinking then?
I was thinking, I don't remember any of these fucking songs. Like, I would listen to them, like, even the last album, and was like, wow, I forgot about that part. Yeah, that part's new. That's like listening to a brand new song. Like, it's so crazy how you can learn something and it be muscle memory for so long, but then, like, when you don't revisit it, how it completely escapes your brain. And, like, I mean, you are pretty much the exception with that kind of shit. You like fucking learned everything. And I was like, yeah, this is how we did it. It's like, how the fuck did you do that, man? Like,
that's the only like weird thing with memory that I'm good at is like with parts. I don't know, maybe because it was such an important part of my life. But like I can always remember songs. And I mean, there were definitely parts and even entire songs that I had to refigure out. But I just picked up a guitar one day and like Challenge just came right out because like that's a pretty easy one. And then I was like, okay,
that one and Voodoo and stuff. Like I didn't forget those songs. But just some of the other ones, like I was just like, oh wow.
Yeah, Lights was a big one. There's just a lot of parts in that. And luckily Rob had the tabs of that. That's how we figured that one out.
I had some tabs, but a lot of it I had to look back on videos of like, what the fuck am I even playing here?
Yeah,
And
because
like,
a lot of those Delinda tabs were wrong because you guys changed shit in the studio, which we
Yep.
realized later. Because I'm like, that doesn't sound fucking right.
simplified everything. Like,
Yeah.
that was, yeah. They were almost so simple that like I was like, this isn't right.
Yeah.
But
I remember Conversations was pretty easy because that record was pretty simplified. But yeah, like a lot of like the middle of Leaving the Earth, all of that shit was gone. I had to figure it out note by note. But I had fucking nothing to do, and I was pretty depressed at the time. So like it gave me a reason to like do something. So I just dove in head first. I was like, all right, if we're gonna do this, I'll figure shit out.
yeah,
And it was so fun. But yeah, I started writing So Say We All and told Sean about it because he asked me, like, do you want to write a song? Put it in the chat. And so did half of that, like up to the first chorus, I think, and put that in. Then everyone, I thought everyone was going to for sure say no. Like, we'll do one show maybe, but we're definitely not writing a new record or anything. But everyone was like, fuck yeah, this is great. And I was like, holy shit.
yeah, dude. When I heard it, I was like, oh man. I was like, I could be a part of this. like.
Yeah, you texted me or called me and told me like this almost made me cry when I was driving, like that we could like to do this again. I was like, holy fuck,
Yeah.
like yeah.
And
that one just came out. That felt good.
well, I mean, it's a different fucking thing when we're older like this, where it's like we have absolutely nothing to prove to anybody. If people like it, great, and I'm so happy that people do, and I'm so happy that people still give a shit after all these fucking years. You know what I mean? Like, anytime someone says, oh, I've been listening to you since this time, I'm like, dude, thanks so much for giving a shit. Or, thanks so, whatever.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's been 15 years now, longer, 18 years since we've been doing this.
Yeah. And, but like, everybody, like, not everybody, I mean, like, as adults, older adults now, like, you don't have any kids, you're not married, but like, those of us that are and do have kids, the fact that we can kind of like go back in time and almost kind of like, I feel like we're even in a better spot than we were 15, 16 years ago.
Yeah, for sure.
So to be able to get to do this, like, I don't feel like I have to do this. I feel like I get to do this. Like, I get this opportunity once again, which some people have never even had the opportunity to go to your fucking drummer's mom's house and practice on Thursday and Sunday.
Yeah,
and
in the same places before.
yeah, which I think they were our age when we started practicing there when we were teenagers. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that is insane.
So I'm the same age as they were when we started playing there.
And it's weird because it feels the same as it did back then. But then, like, I'll see like your kid or Nick's kid there, and it's like, this is fucking wild. Like,
I know. Yeah. But it's just really cool to be able to get to do this, and like however long it lasts for, like, and until it sucks. I don't want to beat a dead horse. I don't. If people don't give a shit, that's fine. Then we'll just finish writing these songs, record them for us. I really don't give a fuck, But that's kind of where I'm at, because, like I said, there's dudes that are our age that like have never even like left Ohio or something like that, and like the fact that we got to do so much cool shit, it I don't know, we played the field of dicks.
Yeah, I mean, ever getting to do it at all was like the dream, and like we way surpassed that back in the day. Like, and then so now getting to do it, I think we are doing it better than we ever did. If we were touring now, we would do it better than we ever did. Like, just the maturity level that everyone's at this point in their life, and like all the things you've learned since then, we know how to approach it as a business and do things smarter. And like, I feel like I'm writing better stuff than I ever did, especially the new song that like I just finished. I think that one's my favorite so far.
The newest one?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Working title,
cool.
Cheat Sheet. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Like, that one I started, and I had like that first part, and we kind of threw that back and forth, and Nick was like, you should start with this. So I started over and started with that. And then I was stuck on it for like a month and a half. And I was like, fuck this. Maybe I'll just trash it. And then one day I was just like, all right, I'm going to try again. It's been weeks since I even listened to it. And then it just all came out in one day. And it's just so funny how that works.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, like we ended it on a bad note. So a big part of the reason to do this at all, whether people cared or not, was just for us to like, if we come back and play a show and it's 50 people, like cool, who cares? And then
I don't care.
we'll write these songs and do the EP. Like at first we wanted to do a full length, but we realized that wasn't really possible.
Yeah.
So like this is just getting to open it back up and end it how we want this time, and end it on a good note. And like we're deliberately saying goodbye when we do this time, and we'll leave people with this EP. And you know, if only we listen to it and I'm stoked about it, that's all I care about.
Yeah, really. I mean, like, absolutely. You know, like it's people who make paintings and people who write poems and stuff like that. They don't create that hoping that somebody else likes it. You know, just like. I mean, when you write music, you want people to like it, obviously. But like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's okay if people don't, or if whatever. But
yeah, you should be doing it for yourself at first.
100%. Yeah,
and then that's like, how you make the best shit.
Right, because it's true. It's not a facade. It's not a it's. If I wrote things or did things that I thought, like any move that I made, hoping people would like it, like people wouldn't like you because then you're fake. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like,
I think it if you're not doing it for people, it's like the irony is that people will, I don't know, it'll resonate with people that you're doing it for you and it's genuine, and that they end up liking it because it was for you and it comes across.
Yeah. 100%.
Rather than like I'm trying to like put together an album for the masses, like, and then you just get like generic pop shit, which obviously people like, but like it's like surface level. This is just fun to put on at a party, whatever. They're not going to move anyone with that.
Right. And like we've all agreed, like this isn't something that's going to be a permanent thing for us, going forward. This is going to be like, okay, we're going to do this while we can, and like I said, we're not going to beat a dead horse. We're not going to outstay our welcome, just kind of in and out, but without being like super rushed about it or anything like that,
Yeah, I don't think there was never any intention of this is going to go 5 years or we hope to get signed and like do a tour. It was like, okay, let's do the reunion show, see what happens. All right, now we want to do 2 songs, and it was just taking it kind of step by step. All right, we got shows in 2024, so now here we are in 2025, and then just played that Cleveland show, which was so fucking fun.
It was so fucking fun. Like, I mean, yeah, shit like that. Like, playing with some of those bands and like some of those dudes that I've known for fucking years. Like, I've known Rob before aphasia was ever a fucking thing. Like, he used to
Simone
come to
Rob,
Derek.
you mean?
Yeah. He used to come to Derek's apartment with a friend, Amy. I can't remember her last name, but I mean, like, he, would show us some of these bands and like all this other shit, and like, I mean, fucking years and years and years, and like, like he's in this fucking awesome death metal band now, Nightmare Unit, and all his hardcore bands were fucking good. I don't know, it's just crazy how, like, like I said, we get
full
to do
circle
this kind of stuff. Yeah, and I don't know. It's just
shout out to Rob for having us, because he owns that venue too. No Class in Cleveland. Never been there. Super cool. And like we hadn't played Cleveland this time around again yet, and so the last time we were there was probably 2007 or something.
Yeah.
And had no idea what to expect. We're just happy to be here, and then it turns out to be a really great show. It felt like old school, and like we had all those friends there, like John Eckert and C Money and the Altman dudes. Like it was so great.
Yeah, I loved it.
And then Tyler and Nate killing it in the pit. And Tyler's getting up on stage singing the song, singing Lois. Yeah, that was so sick.
I told him, I was like, he's like, we need to write him a part. Sean's down for that, so that'd be cool.
Yeah.
He's got a great voice, man. He's got a great fucking voice.
He did. I didn't even realize it was him that had the mic for a second. I looked over and I was like, holy fuck, it's Tyler. And then he's like, oh, I fucked up Lois. But then we got the one more song chance. We're like, all right, we're going to play Lois again. And he's like, all right, I get a second chance.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Yeah, like as long as it's just that, and we're just doing it for us, like that's all that matters. And then when we decide it's time, we'll just shut it down and say thank you to everyone for giving us another great chapter that we never thought we got to have. And now then we'll have this EP that I'm looking forward to dropping. Like Death Waltz, our song that we played live at 2 shows. It's not out yet. Has been going over very well. It's a little bit different for us. It's slower, a little more stonery, sludgy type thing. But I fucking love it.
Yeah, me too. It's awesome. I look like I have fake teeth.
They're very nice.
Hey, thanks, man. My dentist says the same thing.
I went to my dentist. He told me I had receding gums because I figured out it was from using Zyn. But he said I was brushing too hard. I'm like, okay. I guess it's not that bad, so I'll just stop the Zyn.
How's that going?
Good. I quit completely except for when I have a drink now.
Oh, okay.
I did completely nothing for a month, which was hard the first couple of weeks because I've had some form of nicotine in my life since I was 16 years old, smoking cigarettes, and then switched to vaping, and then switched to Zyns. But I was still having too many, like half a can a day. It's just too much.
Are you steaming?
I
want my rookie card.
Rookie card? What are you talking about?
You're that Brandon DiCamillo fucking skit. I don't know if you ever saw it, where he calls some guy and is like, "Oh yeah, did you find my wallet?" And he's like, "I don't know. My wife's not here right now. Blah blah blah." And he goes, "I want my fucking rookie card. Would you misplace it?" You know? And then he just
no. What is that?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Look it up sometime.
Wait, Brandon DiCamillo, what's he from? I recognize the name.
CKY.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like Viva La Bam type shit. But this was like the earlier shit. And like, there's this really long skit that he does when he's on the phone with somebody. And he basically pretends that he lost his wallet. And he's like, "I'm like Scotty LaBouche," or whatever he says his name is. And this guy on the other end is just like, "Dude, I don't know where your wallet's at. My wife probably found it if she called you." And then he's like, and he just starts getting more and more intense, like saying he's got a fucking Pete Rose rookie card in there, and like
I remember that now. Yeah,
yeah. He's like, "You know what else is in there? Your wife's panties." He goes, "She doesn't wear it." He goes, "Oh, that crusty old," whatever he says. It's really fucking funny.
I need to I would love to rewatch all the old Jackass shit.
I have them. Well, I have the CKYs. I have Land Speed, CKY 2K, CKY 3. Yeah, those are fun.
Is like the actual Jackass TV show somewhere to watch now? It's got to be, right?
Probably. I would think so. And a lot of that stuff that was in those DVDs and stuff are on those, early episodes of Jackass and stuff.
Yeah.
I just didn't love Jackass because I think Johnny Knoxville's funny. I think Steve-O's funny, but like, I didn't love all that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever. Like, do you remember when they were kicking the football in the road on purpose and hit the car? And the guy's like, "It's a brand new car," and he's like, "It's a '96." Like,
yeah. I just like Jackass and like all that shit. Just the whole like culture of that time in the 2000s and growing up. It was just such a part of our lives then too,
yeah.
and just like that and like wrestling. Like this is the late 90s, early 2000s. Just such a magical time period for everything, just music, culture, whatever. And like Jackass was a big part of that for me. And then like remember when we filmed that video Chris Abbey would shoot? We created our own Jackass.
Tomorrow's Gonna Suck.
Yeah. We called it Jerk Off.
Yeah.
And we'd be like in like Ben Lowry's basement, and there's one of me as this table is made of wood, and I hate wood. I just jump through it or like destroy it or something. Then people would go like, "My name is so and so. Welcome to Jerk Off," and we would just try to rip them off.
No, I know. And it didn't go anywhere. Like, we didn't post anything, but it was just for us to watch. But like, I remember the one time at that house, that really small house on 82, right before you get to Howland, where we put a helmet on and just fucking went down the steps like head first or something like that, or trash the coffee table. I don't know.
What was the dude who he spin kicked the chandelier out of the ceiling in the kitchen?
House. That's what I'm thinking of. Yes.
Yeah, that
wasn't
dude,
it Vinny or something? Vinny?
I don't know. He beat me up in the Applebee's parking lot.
Okay.
Because
Good. You probably deserve it.
So this story is, so I go to Applebee's with a couple of our friends, and we're like 16. I think it couldn't be more than 17. And we just eat. We're just kids. You know, we go to the mall. We go to Applebee's because that's what you do on a Friday. And then there's this guy there that keeps looking at me, and I don't know who he is. I've never seen him before in my life. And he walks by our table, and he leans over and he goes, "Do you Paul Misco?" And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "Okay." And he just leaves. And I was like, "Okay, what? Like what?" And then he was friends with like the servers and people who worked there, and they all closed the blinds. And we're like, what the fuck is happening? So go outside in the parking lot, and he follows me out there, and he goes, "Hey brother, can I get a cigarette?" And I like pull one out, and he just decks me in the face. And like I'm like, what the fuck? So I get up, and he just goes, "I'm gonna kick your ass for fucking like talking shit about me." I've never seen this guy in my life. No idea who he was. I had no enemies then. I didn't talk shit about, like, I'm just like, what the fuck? Definitely have the wrong guy. So we get in a fight, and he's like kicking my ass. I'm trying to punch him back. None of my friends are helping me. And so like it wasn't that bad. I had like maybe a bloody nose or something. He beats me up, like my shirt's all like torn, like hanging off me. I got a scrape on my elbow from hitting the concrete. And he's like, "That's what you get, motherfucker." Like talks some shit and then leaves. And I'm just sitting there like just shocked, like what the fuck just happened? I don't know who that was. And so I texted my girlfriend at the time, and I was like, I just got beat up in the Applebee's parking lot. And she goes, "Oh my God, describe him." And I like told her, and she goes, "I know who that was. I think it's my fault." I was like, "What the fuck do you mean it's your fault?" And she's like, his name's like, is it not Steve? But yeah, you're right. It's like Vinny, something like that. I can't remember. Yeah. It's been too long. But she's like, "I told him that you didn't like him because like he had like beef with some of our friends or something." But he apparently thought I was talking shit, which I wasn't because I know who he was. So I was like, "Okay, great." So my girlfriend got me beat up. And then fast forward a few years later in college, he was going to Kent State and I was at the same time. And he was in one of my classes and he comes over to me and I was like, "Oh, fuck." And he sits down and he just goes, "I just want to apologize. It was a complete misunderstanding. I thought you were someone else, or like I thought you were talking shit, but you weren't. I completely like fucked up." And we ended up becoming boys. So I forget his fucking name now, but shout out to him. He's out there.
I remember that too because like we were all like, "Fuck this. We're going to go fuck this kid up." And like, we ended up all becoming friends. And like,
yeah, but the reason I remembered was that house. So he came to a party there.
He spin kicked the fan. I remember that.
But before that, Rob had this other friend. I forget what his name was, but he was like in the military. And so was this guy. And so he came to the party and I told him, I was like, "Dude, that's the dude who beat me up at Applebee's." And so everyone was like, "Let's fuck him up." So Rob's friend decided he was going to fight him in my honor. In my stead, he goes up there to fight him and he gets his ass kicked by the same dude. And he comes in, he's like, "All right, who told that guy to fight me?" And this dude's out there with like black eyes. And I'm like, "Oh no, he's going to kill me now." So then somehow it all gets worked out at that party. And I think that's how it kind of started to like cool down. But then, then he ended up spin kicking the chandelier and Chris Abbey filming it. I don't know if that was the same night, but
I don't know if it was either.
That's fucking wild.
Yeah, man. That was
the dude who lived there was with Ben. His name was like the chef or something. That big dude.
Oh, it was started with a C. I thought Curtis.
That might have been it.
Yeah, but he was the chef. Like,
yeah, but he somehow knew him. We told him what happened, and then he went to him and he's like, "I think you owe this kid an apology." So he kind of introduced us, and I explained. I was like, "Dude, I don't know who the fuck you are. I've never seen you before." But there's this whole misunderstanding, and unfortunately, Rob's friend got two bad black eyes that night. He was a tough motherfucker.
Yeah, he was.
God, I can't remember his name. I wish I could.
Yeah. I don't know.
But we've been through some wild shit.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's just the tip of the iceberg.
It really is.
There's some other shit I want to talk about. Just because some of the just because some of it could like things have been resolved since then, and like there's just I don't know.
Yeah, no reason to stir it up. 15 years later.
Well, yeah, way more than that, but yeah, yeah, yeah,
I think I probably know what you're talking about.
yeah. My feet, I can
Yeah.
smell my feet. My feet stink right now.
Why? No socks?
No, I have socks on. They're just like the real thin kind. So
Yeah.
it's almost like wearing like little sandwich bags on your feet.
I have those. No show socks.
Yeah, I fucking there's like pantyhose. Like I got pantyhose on.
Glad he calls them my little ballerina shoes. But it's either that or I wear shoes with no socks, and that's gross.
Yeah, I don't do that in the wintertime. Summertime though.
You wore your Robinson shirt, you said, for how many days without washing it?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. That's
I didn't
aggressive.
sweat. I'm not sweating.
Yeah.
I
Well, I
wore it
didn't
to the
smell
show.
you. You always smell good.
Yeah, I spray myself a lot. I
know.
wore it to the show, and I almost put it on today, but I realized that I sweated in it so much that I couldn't. I mean, I'm not going to do that.
Nick told me he's like I realized we look like Robinson fanboys. He's like, Joe's wearing the Robinson shirt, I'm wearing the Robinson hat, and Sean is wearing the Robinson windbreaker all at the same time.
I know. Well, I had the hoodie on too. Yeah.
Someone commented on that on the Facebook. It was like, ooh, that Robinson breaker. I was like, yep, it's one of a kind.
Sean wanted that to happen like that. He wanted to be like, "Ooh, where'd you get that?"
Yeah. Before you printed the Robinson merch, I had that logo from Wax Festival forever, and I kept meaning to print the exact hoodie that you printed. That's why I said, like, let's just do white logo on the hoodie, but I never got around to it. So now we finally did. I'm glad I waited though, because you chose that best brand. It's the coziest shit.
Dude, yeah. I mean, that's a top of the line hoodie. I mean, it's they're not cheap.
It's like a sponge. It's so cozy.
Yeah. And they hold their shape too. Yeah, and good move going with comfort colors, because comfort colors do not fucking shrink or anything like that. I don't want this to be a fucking commercial right now. You can edit this shit out, because like this is whatever. But like,
No, you're fine.
yeah, I mean,
No, I love comfort color. I started buying plain comfort colors, just tees, just to wear, like whatever.
me too. Hold on. Oh, shit.
Shit.
God damn it. Oh, shit.
So yeah, I was going to ask you, do you want to talk about how you got started in your printing business? Or if you don't, I understand. Like,
Yeah, no, fuck yeah.
I know that kind of all
Definitely.
spawned from being in the bands and
Yeah.
like,
So, I mean, it all kind of started in high school. I took a screen printing class. It was called silk screening. I was like, I don't even know what the fuck this is. And when I realized it's printing, garments or posters or whatever, I was like, oh, fuck, well, we could do this. I could make these shirts for our bands and stuff. So, very crudely, because my high school wasn't really set up very great. It was funny because, like, Rob and Jeff's high school had way better stuff. They were more advanced than our art department.
yeah,
So
that was
they
my
could
high
print-
school too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They could print shirts there, and it was the way you're supposed to. We did it very archaically, but I did that. Took that class, learned how to print a little bit, and just fucked around here and there. I worked at Kmart at the time, so I'd get a good deal on blank shirts or belts or whatever. Probably didn't pay for some of it, but anyways, I'd print it and then we'd sell it at shows. Fast forward a couple years, I did get like a smaller setup in my mom's basement. Me and Jeremy and Jeremy wasn't even in the band then. Me and Jeremy would print shirts in my mom's basement, and he would dry them with like a heat gun. And we did that for a little while until we went on some longer tours where I couldn't any longer like keep up with like how many shirts we actually had to print. So then we get shirts printed elsewhere. But I mean, fast forward even way more years, 2008, after our band broke up, when I was still living at the house with Kaylin, we started a band, just kind of pissing around, and that's what kind of started the band Horses At People Teeth. But we really just were just kind of not really serious. We were just kind of like you guys did Thunder Rider, and I wanted to do some kind of like funnier joke band, like whatever. But I went back to my mom's house to see if she had some of my stuff that I used to print in the basement. She didn't have any of it. So I had a friend of mine make me some screens of designs we had, and I printed them in my basement. And then I just started just buy some equipment here and there because I was like, well, I'm just going to print stuff for our band, blah, blah, blah. This is like not really an awesome story, but I'm just trying to, just like, I mean, it's really not that awesome. But anyways, when I was like, okay, cool. Well, there's people asking me, like a punk band who actually just ordered from us last week. He owns a really awesome tattoo shop in Salem, Ohio called State Street Tattoo. He was my first paying customer, and it was for his punk band Violent Offense. And I mean,
wow, they're still going?
No. I don't think their band is. No, but he has a tattoo shop that we print all their merch for. But he's been ordering from me since day one. And,
wow.
I went to Gabriel Brothers and bought 99-cent t-shirts and printed him, I don't know, 30 or 50 shirts, And then there was a local strip club that asked me to print some shirts for them. And it was like 200 pieces. I realized I made more money in one weekend than I did 2 weeks at my job. So I was like, okay, like I got this has to work.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's kind of how it started. And I was already going to bars. I was already knowing bands. So I would just basically hit everybody up and just say, hey, I started printing shirts, let's do this if you need merch, whatever. And it would slowly trickle in, and a lot of growing pains, but I mean that's pretty much how it started,
And you had a different building before your current one, right?
Oh yeah. I had two buildings before this one. So it started off in a really crappy house, not the house I lived in with Kaylin, but another house. Started off there, and then I bought a house, and that was my second basement. And then pretty much within 2 or 3 months, I realized, like sitting around in your pajamas waiting for fucking UPS to deliver shirts you have to print that day, fucking sucks. And I'd go to fucking happy hour. I'd come back home and I'd take a nap. I'd wake up at 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night, and I'd print all night. So my life was just kind of like all fucked up because like the schedule wise and stuff. So when I realized, the only way to kind of grow is to have an actual store and retail space for people to come meet you, because like, people would be like, oh, where do you work out of? It's like, oh, I'm a home-based business, but we do really good work, And I would say we, because like it's not we, it's just me, but like we sounds like we're a team, And so then I got my first shop, which was a very small like setup. It was like probably only like 900 square feet, but it was like an old like drugstore. And I had the whole basement to myself to clean screens and the whole upstairs to print. And that's, where I hired my first employee. But then we moved from there to another shop, outgrew that really quick, and then I bought this warehouse about 9 years ago when I was actually only coming here for a delivery van. But I knew that we wouldn't outgrow this place anytime soon, so it made sense. Yeah. The price was good, so
it's a cool spot.
Yeah, it's great, and and we have a lot of rooms downstairs that bands practice in, and it's cool because there's always somebody here all hours of the night. So like it's almost kind of like a security, even though
how many bands are there?
5. Yeah, 5. And I want to make more spaces for more. I want it to be like a thing. But
yeah,
that we've had some bands in and out of here that were kind of shitty, like just kind of leaving lights on or like not fucking arming the place with the alarm system.
Yeah.
Nothing too detrimental, like leaving doors unlocked or anything, but I don't know. It's scary because like there's no heat down there, but it's not that miserable. But if somebody leaves a space heater on, they could burn the place down.
Right.
And all for what? Like $400 a month? Like, like so everybody that's down there now are all like grown ass men who are like just need a spot to fucking practice, and they're very responsible.
That's great.
Yeah.
And we shot the lowest video there, which was cool.
Yeah, that was cool. That was fucking sweet.
That worked out.
In a little common area.
Yeah, is that like your break room?
That's
or a break room? Oh, that's
not
okay for the bands.
Not for us up here. Nobody up here goes down there.
Okay. I wasn't clear on that.
Yeah, you
weren't. That was cool though, like shooting the video. You guys did one before I joined the band. So the last one that the band did was 05 or 06.
Oh yeah. This is New Jersey.
Yeah.
For these lights above us?
Yeah. That was in New Jersey?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we never did one for Conversations because we broke up before the album even came out.
I know. Dude,
so
when the last show that we played, the van was parked down the street from my house that I lived with Kaylin. I walked home. I dropped our money bag. There's only like a couple $100 in it. I dropped our money bag and it was on the sidewalk. I realized, holy fuck, I dropped our money bag. And there was a shoe print on it the next day. So somebody didn't even like look at the fucking money bag. They just stepped on it. Luckily, it was still there. I still use it for my bank deposits for my business. It has
fantastic.
An active skate shop sticker on it. Like
I think I remember that story now. That's crazy.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking insane. Like nobody stole it. Like that area sucks.
I remember that money bag.
Yeah.
In that house, there was a lot of parties in that house. That's also, we broke up in like the parking lot there, like where we parked the van.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Shit.
I remember. I think you were the first that was like, yeah, I'm just done. And then we had the trailer, and like the door was open. I remember standing on the trailer door, going, "All right, well, I'm gonna move to California then," and just winging it, whatever. We were in a bad spot mentally. Everybody was.
Yeah.
We were beaten down for too long.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we were just doing dumb tours and like not making even enough money to pay our fucking bills, and it was just it was pretty miserable.
Yeah.
And that's kind of when you just be like, all right, either take a fucking break or fucking just be done.
Yeah, you need to take a break and reassess and like push through that, which is like very, very hard to do after you've been at it for so long.
Right. I think we were just like, all right, we'll just do another tour. That things will get better, you know?
Yeah.
But like, I remember, I can't remember where the fuck we were. I think we're playing, I think the venue is called the Creepy Crawl in either Kansas City, Missouri, or somewhere else in Missouri. But I was on the phone with one of the dudes from Metal Blade, either Mike or Brian, and like he was basically saying like he wanted like our next albums to be with Metal Blade. And like, I was like, man, we're unstable right now. We probably aren't going to last the rest of this tour. We're probably not going to even want to do anything after this.
Yeah.
This sucks that this is happening right now, but I'm not going to fucking waste your time. Like,
I remember that because wasn't it also for like a lot of records, and we were like, that's going to take us into our 30s. Like
fuck yeah. I don't, there was nothing drawn up or anything like that. And it was just in passing kind of like a, hey, we want you guys to be on Metal Blade. But like, I knew that it was not it wasn't some kind of thing that I wanted to take on like with integrity. Like, I mean, like I'd have been like,
yeah,
we're about done here. You know what I mean? Like that kind of shit. Like,
Yeah.
So I wouldn't want to put us in the situation to even burn a bridge before we even fucking cross the bridge.
For people listening, we started saying "about done here" all the time. Like when things were going bad, like one of us just be like,
Yeah.
go into the trailer or put someone "about done here,"
Yeah.
like, and it just became a thing. It was helping us cope with the situation of just making a joke out of it, like ready to be done.
Yeah.
But
I mean, some of the times, like even if like our van broke down, we're on the side of the road or whatever, like it wasn't that terrible. But when you're away from home for so long and like you're kind of on the wrong tours, you're kind of around the wrong people, that's when shit gets fucking shitty. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and you're not making money.
yeah, I mean, like we weren't. I mean, we never expected to come home with like buku amounts of money or anything like that. But like to pay some bills or like just pay the merch company off because whoever was printing our merch at the time. I mean, all that shit we had to pay. And if we weren't, somebody else was. So it was like it was just frustrating because it was like it was a business that was financially failing, but like also too like just like
it wasn't fun anymore.
yeah, it wasn't. And I mean, when you're eating shit like that and it's not fun, then it's like, why the fuck are we doing this?
Yeah. I think there was, at least from some of us, expectation to eventually make it to a point where it could be viable financially and to make a living off of it. Because like Rob said when he was on here, he's like, I thought I was going to do it forever, and I was like, me too. I at least I wanted to,
Right.
but like we couldn't see a path to where like when was that ever going to happen to where we could make like I could have enough money to like have an apartment at home or something, like just come home and like have a real life. Not expecting to be rich, but just like, oh, this is a job.
Right.
And it was just like, there was that wasn't happening.
I'm glad it didn't happen because like, like, I mean, what the fuck? We're not going to, be the Rolling fucking Stones or anything like that. Like we're like, like we didn't invent the fucking wheel. We're not the second coming of Christ, people liked it and then they didn't, or, whatever. So I like the fact that it gave us the opportunity to see the world, have some really cool parties, meet a lot of cool people that I'm still fucking friends with, all that shit. And then, like I said, be able to do it again now, but know that we're okay with it not being like the main thing. You know what I mean? Like, cause I love what I do. And like, I'm always trying to, being in the band helped me like realize compromise, being fair to other people, social economics, auto repair. I mean, a bunch of shit that like, like
just having general like systems in place too, like the driving process of like how you shifted seats in the van. It was like your turn to drive that night. You have to drive. So you can't drink. If it's your turn, it's your turn. Or you can make a deal with someone. You're like, okay, I don't want
to spend all my money to not drive.
You were the king of deal breakers. or deal makers.
Hey, I'll give you $50 if you drive for me tonight.
Yeah. But then we had a system that was like, okay, so that was allowed. You could barter for, I want to drink tonight, so you drive. And then when it was your turn, you had to do at least 200 miles. And then you went to the back of the van, and then we had a seat rotation. But everyone abided by it. It was beautiful. Like so really many bands could not do that. They would never do that. And I think that's why, like you were saying, like that's what helped us keep going so long is like things sucked, but we were with good people. Like we all knew each other since we were 16 years old, 15 years old. We loved each other. Everyone was a good person. There were no pieces of shit. So you could stick with it through all the shit that sucked because you were with people that you loved and like made it work.
100%. Yeah. And like, I mean, having that like above all and be all rule and fairness and everything made things so that there was no harbored resentment or anything like that because, like everybody is treated the same. And like, I mean, when we would tell people that, they'd be like, that would never work in our band. And it's like, why? Like this person has this bench like for the whole fucking tour. Like that doesn't make any sense. Like,
how's that fair? Like,
and Yeah,
Then
I mean,
who sits in shotgun and can't lay down? You know, like what?
right, exactly. And we've never had a van that fucking reclined. Like none of those fucking
Yeah.
seats. We've always had Dodge vans, and none of them reclined. I mean, you know, it takes me owning a screen printing shop and having a delivery van that's fucking comfortable as living dog shit. Like, you know, that reclines and I could fucking sleep in there if I wanted to. But like, we didn't have that when we were touring. And I mean, sitting up straight and like, you know, having a pillow right here and like, you know,
Oh, that's the worst.
it wasn't fucking comfortable. And that was the next person to drive. No. We switched it. It
No,
went
we
from
went
passenger,
to
passenger to front bench so that they could sleep.
So you could
and
sleep.
Then you drive.
Yep.
Yes.
That
'Cause
was
it used to be
genius.
passenger
Yeah.
to fucking drive.
Yeah, and that's like that sucks. Who
Fuck yeah.
built the thing in the back? Who built the bunk where we put the luggage underneath so you could sleep?
I thought it was Nick's dad.
Probably.
I really think so.
You guys had it by the time I joined, so I wasn't
Yeah.
there for the
I love the
installation.
loft. I love the loft.
Yeah,
That was my
we were
favorite.
bunk buddies.
Yeah, I know. Bunk
Called me
buddies
the
too,
big
and I had
red
to poop
pepper
in the-
because
Remember when I had to poop in the fucking? I was telling the
Yep.
story last night to my wife.
yeah, tell it.
We were in a traffic jam for like 2 hours in Chicago, and I'm a nervous guy, so I have the big D all the time, diarrhea, not dick. And and I was back there with Paul. So the bunk is like a 2-person like just bed, and my whole body, like this was my legs. My legs were like clenched just for 2 hours straight, and I was just like praying
Trying
that I
not to
wouldn't shit myself. Finally, it got to the point where I was like, there's no exit, there's no nothing. So
Yeah, we're stuck in traffic. There, you couldn't even go on the side of the road because we're in the city. It wasn't like
Yeah.
you could run into the woods.
right, like when we played with Black Dahlia, we all shit in the woods. Anyways, Milwaukee Metal Fest or something, and then the little people came down with their bikes. Well, anyways, so yeah, we're in Chicago, and the guy sitting for shotgun was our buddy Will Jarvis. He's like tour manager for like Papa Roach right now. He's like tour manager for like
Yeah, Deftones. Yeah,
Deftones or Crosses
Yeah.
or yeah. I mean,
killing it.
It's fucking insane. Yeah. Well, he was
Shout
with
out
us.
to
He's just-
Jarvie.
Yeah, well, Jarv. He gave me his Mountain Dew Code Red Cup from Taco Bell, and I had to poop in it, and it wasn't even that much. It was probably a couple shot glasses worth, and but it gave me such relief, and we threw it out, and I slept for about 2 hours because I was so exhausted from my whole body being so tense with fucking trying to keep this from not
And
coming out.
I'll tell my perspective, which was we were bunk
You were right
buddies.
next to me.
So
Yeah.
yeah. He was in the very back of the van. And this thing, for people who don't understand, this was like a wooden bunk that was built. So it was lifted off the bottom so we could put our luggage underneath it, and it was like a bed on top. So you're very close to the ceiling. You can't sit up. You had
Yeah.
to lay down when you're up there. And I was in the front part of it, and then below me was like the first bench, and then Joe was in the very back. So he's got a shit. He takes this cup. So you squeeze your legs between the bunk and the back door so you could like almost stand up like halfway. And you were like, hold up the blanket because I'm embarrassed. So I held up your red blanket like and gave you like cover. So I also couldn't cover my mouth or my nose. And I'm sitting there going, as you're shitting in this cup. And I'm trying not to gag, and everyone in front is dying laughing. And then you squeeze the cup in that little window that you could open like a vent, and dropped it onto the freeway. And that was that. But you had to. There was no other choice.
I had no choice. Like I was gonna die.
That's one of the best stories we have.
Yeah. Sucks it has to do with defecation, but like, you know. And me and Nick were always getting arguments because like I always had to go to the bathroom and he'd call me shit king. And like
Yep.
if he'd bring me a Burger King hat, you know, like and like just crown me. And like
It was
some days if I
between
was in
you
a-
two though, because he had to shit all the time too. So we'd be
I
like,
know.
"Who's going to be the shit king today?" And we'd give you
know.
that crown. Yeah, the Burger King crown. Like you get to wear it today because you're the shit king.
Dude, like, and you know, if I was having a bad day, like if I woke up kind of fucking crabby, that was the last thing I wanted to fucking hear. Like, Like,
I don't want to be shit king today.
we would push each other's buttons.
Yeah. But like you said, though, we got along better than so many other bands in order to make that work. Like, it was still never that bad compared to other people who like would get in literal fights and stuff. We had very few arguments from what I could remember. Just like getting on each other's nerves a little bit, like a little tiff. But then it was fine.
The one I know, I'm looking at the time right now. We're almost at 2 hours. But the one time I think me and Rob got in our worst like argument was we were in a really, really bad part of town. I think in Philly or New York or something like that. And like he was fucking like kind of nervous about where we were at. And I remember us just like yelling at each other just because like, it's going to be fine, blah, blah, blah. And I mean, I don't even remember whatever, but like, I think that same like trip, we stopped at a gas station and Nick went in to the gas station and somebody's like, does anybody have change for a 50? And he goes, yeah, I do. And so he gives them change for a 50 and they give him a fucking 50 with shit smeared all over it.
Oh my God. I don't
Were
remember
you in the band then?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know. I would remember that.
Yeah, he got a shifty. Yeah, like the shitty.
A shifty.
And I was like, good for you, man. Pour your fucking money out next time someone's like, anybody got change for a 50? And there was poop
I think I remember that story now that you say it.
Oh,
that is
so
fucking
gross.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Last thing, I don't remember if we told the story on Rob's episode, but do you remember when he drove off the road and the brakes went out and we got stuck in that ditch? I was in shotgun. It was late at night. I think you guys might have all been sleeping, but so he was going off the freeway. I don't know if we had to get gas or whatever, but he thought it was like an off ramp and it wasn't. He just drove straight off the freeway into a ditch and the brakes were all fucked. And we just go boom, boom, and we like stop. And I was in shotgun. I just looked over and I go, why did you do that? And like I don't remember how long it took us to get repaired or whatever, but that was fucking hilarious. It was a total accident, you know. Oh man.
Well, yeah, and then like I mean, of all the years of touring and having shitty, horrible, fucking. I mean, we had some good bands, we had some shitty ones too, but the only real fucking catastrophic fucking event happens last June when we fucking go to play Brooklyn and Massachusetts, and my delivery van from my shop fucking the engine blew. Like
I could not believe it. It was like, here we are. It's the same fucking things.
Yeah, like unrepairable. I mean it's gone forever. Like the towing company that towed it from AAA doesn't return my calls, and they don't even have a phone. So I lost God. That trip was like, yeah, I'm just gonna give my van up. Like, I mean, I don't give a fuck.
That is unbelievable.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we were just driving and we started hearing that noise and someone's like, no, it's just the window or something's flapping against the window. Yeah. Like, nope. And then, so we stopped, we tried to like fill up with oil and then we kept going. We're like, we're going to make it to that Firestone, and then just died.
Well, yeah, I'm glad I mean, when we pulled over, we were like, all right, we're just going to start it back up and see if it clicks. And as soon as we started it back up, we went outside and it's clicking. Like, it's like, fuck, this is not good. This is not good.
Yeah.
And, we bought, it was the most expensive oil I've ever fucking seen in my entire life. I think it was $10 a quart. And so we bought like 3 or 4 quarts. And yeah, it didn't do shit because.
No. What was the issue? I don't even remember.
Dude, I don't know, man. I think
because if we didn't leak the oil, we didn't need oil.
Right, but yeah, I mean, I don't know.
We thought there was some reason we thought like if we just overfill it, it'll get us there. I don't know.
Hypothetically,
but then that guy he was like wearing like a suffocation hoodie or something that showed up on the side of the road and like gave 2 of us a ride to U-Haul.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, I saw you guys. He saw Rob's end hoodie or something. He's like, I figured like we'd get along.
Yeah.
Shout out to that guy because he saved us.
Hell yeah.
We were scrambling to figure shit out.
We were fucked. You guys got ticks on you. Like,
yep.
I mean,
we brought ticks all the way to Brooklyn from New Jersey.
Nice.
There was a tick in Roscoe's living room.
Oh yeah, I remember that. You know what?
We had
it's all fucking it's all. It doesn't matter. It's fun though. Like, I mean, but we were all looking at each other like, we're in our fucking 40s, man. We're broken down on the side of the fucking road.
It's the first day. Yeah.
It's the first fucking day, man.
What are the odds?
Come on.
It's like we're back on tour again.
Yeah.
But we made it. That's the important thing. We didn't miss the show. It's probably one of my. It's probably my first. Maybe Furnace Fest is probably the top, but like second favorite show. Brooklyn was incredible.
Yeah.
And we also made it fun that night. We got to the hotel late. We're like, fuck it, we're going to the bar. We went out and got food. Went to the bar, had a good time, hanging out with Sean and Will, and it was like the four of us that went out. And Rob and Nick went to bed. Yeah. But I was like, no way, I'm not going to go out and blow off some steam.
No, I was so tense. I was like a nervous wreck. Like, I mean, I felt helpless. It sucked.
Yeah.
But it worked out though. It ended up being cool.
Sorry you lost your van.
It's whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck it.
It's our fault.
Shit.
All right. You want to wrap it up there?
Sure.
All right. Well, thank you very much for joining me, brother. I appreciate it. It's been a good time.
Thanks for having me.
Everybody follow Joe on Instagram, Joey Vomits. His company is Gorilla Joe Printing, and obviously our band is From a Second Story Window. Leave a rating for the podcast and share it with a friend, and we'll see everybody next time. Thanks for listening.
See ya.